It's the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 reborn, but it's more than that. Hey everyone, it's Max with PhoneArena.com, and this is a review of the Samsung Galaxy Note Fan Edition. We live in interesting times when last year's goods make a big splash in the here and now. The Galaxy Note Fan Edition has done just that. A remanufacture and recycling of unused components of last year's ill-fated Note 7, the Note FE is essentially all about 2016. However, Samsung did make two significant changes that make the new Note noteworthy in 2017. Design-wise, nothing has changed as expected, and that's a good thing. The only visual cues that this isn't the Note 7 of last year is the lack of Samsung logo on front and the branding on the back. The symmetrical curves of the front and back meeting nicely to the metal frame are just as nice looking as last year. Gorilla Glass 5 and water resistance are part of the package too. Samsung has a knack for entrancing people with luscious displays, and that's the case here too. The default adaptive color settings probably go overboard with color, but it sure looks nice while it does it. Adaptive settings let you change the color temperature a bit also, while cinema and photo settings cater to HDR video and standardized Adobe RGB color schemes. No matter what flavor you choose, the 5.7-inch display with a traditional 16:9 aspect ratio has the real estate to let you enjoy media or take notes with the S Pen. One of the benefits of bringing the Samsung Experience UI to the Note FE is the ability to change resolution if you want. 1080 Full HD is the default setting. Those that demand every pixel do its part can take full advantage of the 2K 1440 by 2560 resolution, or go in the other direction, give the hardware a break, and set things to 720p. When it comes to the interface, Samsung updated the software to Android 7 and gave the Note FE the new Samsung Experience UI, which was introduced to us earlier on the Galaxy S8. This is one of the two big changes Samsung made to the Note. The newer, better optimized UI is a big plus for the Note FE. Animations are much smoother than during the days of TouchWiz. We want to avoid that modern adage of seems faster because it isn't, but it is a certainty that the new UI is right at home on last year's hardware. Rounding up the user experience is the S Pen, which is why the Note series exists. And the Edge screen. It's highly functional and may be quite a convenience for some, though we think it is a feature that may still be looking for a broad use case scenario. The S Pen, on the other hand, performs admirably. Screen-off memo is still one of the more ingenious ways to just start writing, and GIF capture, that is just great fun all around. A really neat feature. Bixby is here too, though not in all its glory. There is no voice interaction. Instead, Bixby Home and Reminders is situated similarly to Google Now. The iris scanner is on board as well. We resist calling it half-baked because it did seem to work surprisingly well with few errors. Let's just say the inconveniences of how you need to hold the Note FE the correct way, at the correct angle, and at the correct distance means that this is still a work in need of more development. The Note FE we imported is packing Samsung's Exynos 8890 CPU, has 64 GB of expandable storage, and 4 GB of RAM. The hardware does not seem to struggle, but it's also not setting any speed records either. With that said, we never felt like we had to wait for a command to execute in our daily usage. Samsung stays true to its camera prowess. This is the same sensor we reviewed on last year's Note 7, and it's basically the same as we've seen on this year's flagships as well. Simply put, the camera is excellent. The UI is unchanged from last year, and the Note FE has no trouble rapidly capturing images. The wide f1.7 aperture brings in copious amounts of light at night. Images taken after sunset belie how dark it really was when we took them. The front-facing 5-megapixel camera offers a nice wide field of view, making group shots easier and even better if you have a selfie stick. The same goes for video we captured in broad daylight and at night. You can select several different resolution settings. In all, there is little to complain about when it comes to the Note FE's camera, unless you really need manual controls. The old-school aspect ratio is great for media consumption, especially for its size. Even as newer video ratios gain greater popularity, there's enough screen real estate to take it all in. The speaker, on the other hand, does not. It's just not set up well with volume modulation. Each step with the volume rocker provides different levels of quiet, only with the last few stops bringing in acceptable levels of audio. Thank goodness for the headphone jack. Audio quality through it is perfectly acceptable. Unlocked devices not made for the American market would understandably encounter basic issues when it comes to traditional services like phone calls. That's not the case for the Note FE. There is no compatibility for features like high-definition voice or enhanced messaging services, but call quality is excellent, and we did not encounter any dropped or failed calls. The second and more significant of the two big changes over last year's Note 7 is in the battery. The poorly designed 3500 mAh cell was replaced by a smaller, Safety Check 3200 mAh unit. We were pretty heavy users with the Note FE, but the new battery got us through a 10-hour day with room to spare. In the final analysis, and given the circumstances, the Note FE stands on its own, even among the current crop of flagships. Where it doesn't win with outright brute force and speed, it still gives the user outstanding build quality, a great camera, and a feature set that exists on no other device. So should you go online and import a Galaxy Note Fan Edition? For the everyday consumer, absolutely not. It retails in Korea for roughly $625, but once sellers are done marking it up for their own profit, plus international shipping costs, you're hard-pressed to justify the $800 or higher price tag, especially since the Note 8 is right around the corner. That said, if you have a gadget itch that you just can't scratch, this is not a bad buy at all. The feature set is unique in the marketplace, and there are surprisingly few compromises. Plus, if you are a Note series fanatic, you know what you're buying into anyway, so there's a good chance you won't be disappointed. Again, I'm Max. Thanks for watching this review of the Samsung Galaxy Note Fan Edition. Keep checking in for more reviews and news from PhoneArena.com.